it is come as no shock to anybody who has been with us during these last couple of months in office and transition that this has been a trying period for Prince George's County, and there are a number of things that we face coming into office. With that, we've called on these men and women who've introduced themselves to quite honestly step in and carry the load for the county in some very difficult budget times. One of the things we're going to go through tonight is a slide presentation or PowerPoint on where we are financially. If you've been reading the papers over the last couple of months and paying attention to what's going on in Annapolis, clearly not only is Prince George's County facing difficult economic times, but this region and this country are facing them. And so some of the things that we're faced with in this administration is how do we deal with that and deliver the kind of services and quality of services you deserve. Over these next couple of months, next 2 months, they're coming fast. I've got to make some difficult choices on how we spend limited resources. The men and women who introduce themselves to you tonight have to then take those limited resources and provide snow removal. They have to provide a quality library for you. So we've got some very challenging times. But we're also going to talk about some opportunities in Prince George's County that I think are unique and that we're going to propose to our county council. With that, let's talk about the budget. And as we're flipping through here, the main emphasis tonight is to get your input before we submit this budget to the council. So we'll go through some priority areas that we have, but more importantly, it is about your input as residents of the county and what do you want us to focus on. Part of the administration plan is for the new Baker administration, of course, is centered around our ethics and our education and economic development. And all of those things tie together. Because in order for us to get out of these hard economic times for the long run, we're going to have to grow our base. We're going to have to grow our commercial base and our tax base. We can no longer rely simply on residential housing. So in order to do that, that means we have to focus on, one, improving our education system, which is the calling card of this county. We have to make sure that citizens are safe and that we focus around what I think are our opportunities, which is our transit-oriented development around Metro. So taking those limited resources and targeting them around areas where we think we can have the greatest impact. Part of that is I've introduced some legislation in Annapolis dealing with ethics in the county. Accountability, transparency, those are going to be hallmarks of this administration because I think that goes to the reputation of Prince George's County and our ability to attract businesses and residents to stay here in this great county. You can go into one of the things I want to talk about. If you look at the last line, second to last line, focusing on outcomes. One of the things that you'll hear a lot about from us is what we call county stat. Many of you have seen what they've done in city stats, and we're doing a little bit of that in the county right now, or some of that in the county right now, but we want to really focus on outcome performances, and that is taking those limited resources, trying to see if we're getting the best quality and the best outcomes with those dollars, but also making sure that we're looking at duplications and waste. And so we're going to be focusing on that. Our AAA bond rating, I'm very pleased to say we went up to Wall Street a couple of weeks ago, had a very good meeting with the rating agencies, and we feel really confident that we're going to, right, Tom, keep our AAA bond rating, which is very, very important. If you know how hard it is for the county to get that, it's very important for us to have that as part of our economic development activity. The next thing. As I said before, the county in fiscal year 2010, we've looked at our audit. We're in strong financial shape. We are not going to have to make any mid-year corrections, which means we won't do any layoffs or have to make any cuts in mid-year for 2010. That's the good news. The bad news is in 2012, we're looking at a deficit, and we're looking at shrinking revenues. So we're going to have to start preparing for a lean time in 2012 and 2013. I came from Annapolis today talking to the Speaker of the House about additional resources for the county. Every county around this state and the city of Baltimore are looking for additional resources, given the fact that the localities, the local governments, have very few options in raising revenue. Most of us have declining revenues. Most of us, our property values are either stabilized or declining. So there's going to be very few options there. So as we get to 2012 and 2013, the picture gets bleaker for us. So if we don't start building an opportunity to increase our economic base, we're going to be in serious trouble, and we're going to have to make some tough decisions to make sure we can handle the things that are coming up. What else we got here? Revenue. One of the things that we're going to look at is all the contracts that the county currently has. Looking and reviewing at those, looking at those contracts, making sure the county is getting the most that it can, where we can actually cancel or reduce the contracts we're going to. Some of the things that we've done that you'll see up here is we've looked at our internal policies. Cars for department agencies, we're scrutinizing the use of those, limited. Credit cards for county employees. We've cut those out, so our lobbying agency in the county that's down in Annapolis now is not too happy about it. But I think given these hard times, we've got to show that we're serious about bringing in the revenues and streamlining the use of it. I talked about county stat, which we think is going to be a very important part throughout the budget process and throughout the performance of this government to measure where we are, the effectiveness of it, but also helping us trend for the future so that we know where we need to put money into the county, how many folks that we need to hire for various departments. I think this is going to be a great tool, a measurement tool for us. And we're going to plan. We talked about focusing on the on outcomes. We talked about using our fund balance, which we have. I don't know if that's come up yet, Tom. But not coming yet. We're going to talk about the fund balance, which is some money that we have, discretionary money that we have in the county, that we're going to use to help spur economic development and get this county to deal with the issues in the future.
Rather, I'm here to emphasize the importance of maintaining the human services part of the county budget in these trying times. CSS serves as a conduit to county, state, federal, and other nonprofit agencies in order for our clients to survive. By intervening and preventing family breakdown and additional poverty, fewer people need to reach out for additional county services. Every dollar in the budget for health and human services is vital. Mr. Baker, we appreciate your appointing of the faith-based and nonprofit office. Community Support Systems joins Human Services Coalition in supporting CBAs as a requirement with development, support for Grant U, and the Fast Track Task Force. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our service in her house in Baden. In the past 4 years, Toppinana has seen a 200% increase in the use of food stamps by our customers. It is no secret that the senior population in Prince George's County is growing quickly. Census data indicates that the county's senior population will be the fastest growing age group in the county, increasing by 177% by the year 2030. While there are many issues connected to the growth of this portion of our population, one issue that is not often discussed is that the ability of seniors to obtain necessary groceries. This is not a luxury, it is a necessity. Most of us think of this as a simple task, but many seniors find it physically difficult or impossible to go shopping. Others fear going out to grocery shop because of physical frailty or general fear of being preyed upon, and many are too proud to admit their inability to shop. When people turn to Toppinana, they are looking for a way to maintain stability, control, health, and dignity. Toppinana is committed to addressing this need. Unlike other shopping services, Toppinana delivery staff will bring the groceries into the kitchen and will even help to unload and shelve the groceries for our customers and perform other small chores as well. Our staff often socially engages with our customers and will often observe issues that may be arising and are able to alert their friends and family to potential problems of which they might otherwise be unaware. We are truly pleased to be able to play this important role within the county's social safety net, and we hope that as you are moving forward with your great challenges in the budget ahead, that the role of seniors is considered and that support for organizations such as Top Banana will continue. And we wish you much luck as you move forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for the work you're doing with Top Banana. I know it well.
We are asking our government to fully fund our libraries by including enough additional funds to operate the new branch in Bowie. We know you consider education the priority for our county, but in considering the educational needs of our communities, our libraries are often overlooked. But they are vital to education. The public school system depends on our libraries to provide supplemental material for student research, such as science fair projects. Our outreach to parents and preschool children promotes early literacy. Our summer reading programs keep our youth academically engaged during the summer break. Adults of all ages depend upon the libraries for lifelong learning, as well as for occupational needs such as job hunting. If library branch hours are cut, and remember they were cut already 2 years ago, if they're cut again, there will be fewer evening hours with trained staff available for students. Fewer hours the library's computers will be available for the public. We urge you to fully fund the library system by including enough adequate funds to operate the new South Bowie branch. This new branch will expand the library's ability to serve the surrounding community. But if funding the library means that it's done only at the expense of the other branches, then building and operating it will instead jeopardize the library's ability to serve the whole county. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No final decisions have been made on the funding for libraries or the South Bowie branch, but certainly as somebody who uses the library, and I understand the importance of it, so thank you.
We have a registered nurse at each food pantry, and we will have one at the Mission Nutrition, checking people's blood pressure, their sugar, and talking with people about other medical concerns. I work at the Baden Food Pantry, and one time last summer we had a lady come in who didn't come in very often, but she came in that day. She wasn't feeling well, asked me to check her pressure, which was normal. So then I said, well, how about your sugar? I checked that. It was 400, which is 4 times what it ought to be. I told her she needed to go immediately to the emergency room. She took her food home. Her daughter took her to the emergency room. By the time she was seen, her sugar had gone up almost to 700. She was admitted to ICU, stabilized, sent home on medication, saw the diabetic educator and a dietitian, and got her sugar under control, is losing weight and eating sensibly, which was a great outcome that could have been really bad if she hadn't come in that day. So this is something that she didn't have to go anyplace special to get her sugar checked, just come on in. Our biggest problem for our clients, or one of the biggest, is a total lack of public transportation in the South County. There is nothing. We had a lady that had a temporary job in Gaithersburg. I took her to the metro station so that she could catch the train at 5:40 in the morning every day for a week. At the end of the week, she was exhausted, but she now has a job in Waldorf and is doing nicely. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you for the work that you're doing.